name is Genevieve Alcantara, and for today, I'll be presenting the tasks assigned to us in statistical packages. We have a total of 5 tasks na kailangan po nating ilagay sa isang video. And the first task that I have to do is to export Google Forms or sheet data to Excel format. So how can we do that if we don't have the Google form? Let's start. I'll now be sharing the Google form that we will need to this presentation. We have here the webinar on supporting distance learning TPAC framework and digital literacy. So I have to use this one all throughout the presentation. This will be the Google form that we will use. How can we download this? Click on the responses, and then if we can see, meron po tayong tatlong dots dito. And we just have to click on the download responses. There we go. So if we can observe, it's already downloaded. We're done with the first task. Let's now go into the downloads and click on this. We now have the file that we need, and it's now converted into an Excel format. See? The number 2 task is explain how to replace string data to numerical data for analysis. When we say string data, these are the text data. We all know that in research, we cannot use string data alone. We have to convert it into numbers, into numerical data para mas maging useful. So we just have to delete the information we don't need. For example, the first column here, the timestamp, we don't need that one, so let's delete it. The email, the last name, and we just have to come up with the useful data. Since this presentation is for me to show it, to make it more, let's say, time saver, it could be, we will focus on the more, or let's say, most important data. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let us just have the 10 questions we use in the webinar. So, all right, so we have here 10 questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have here the 10 questions we use in the webinar, and we will be focusing on 50 students, or let's say 50 respondents. There we go. So you can see it's more, we will be focusing more on this information. Now let's start with the gender. If we can see, there are 2 choices, the male and then the female, seems like that. If we can observe, somehow the other words are not stable in terms of caps lock. May mga malalaki, may mga maliliit. So we can just replace that one first into, kaya po if we can see, when we are doing some Google Forms, mas maigi na po na ilagay natin kung female or male, and then i-click na lang ng ating respondents. Kasi kung itatype pa po nila, pwedeng naka-caps lock, pwedeng F lang, or pwedeng M lang, seems like that. Kaya magiging magulo talaga siya. So what we should do is we have to make sure that the names are somehow stable in how they are typed or encoded. You can see here. Ayan po. So they are all female. We just have to change some way on how they encoded the information. Ayan. So for the male, of course, naka-sentence case siya. So i-sentence case na din natin silang lahat. Ayan. So male, this one is for female. This one is for male, for female. Yan. If we can see, it's already done with this. Ayan po. So, okay na po ang ating gender. Now, it says here, we have to replace the string data into numerical data. How can we do that? There's a short or easier way to do that. We just need to click on this column, click on the insert, and the recommended charts para naka-sum up na. So, how can we do that? Just click on the OK. Kung makikita natin sa next tab niya, naka-summarize na siya. Okay, if we can see here, hindi siya naka-total. Let's just have the total of the females. So 35 plus 1, maybe because of some inconsistent the way they encoded the information. Pero we can see naman na ang female ay 35 plus 1, that's 36. So we just have to, this is 36. And male is 13 plus 1, that's 14. Okay. So we just have to, ayan. I-delete na lang. Okay. So for female, we have 36, and for male, we have 14. And what we should do next is to make sure that we can transfer this information into Word. Okay, here. Ayan po. So, this one. Let's just delete the unnecessary row. Ayan. Kanina po, we have 36, and then 14. Ayan po. So if we can see, the total number of respondents is 36 plus 14, that is 50. So we just have to change this one into sex, count of sex. Ayan po. So this will be our table number 1. And we just have to click on this table, change the design. Okay, insert lang po tayo ng isa sa taas para sa ating table. Ano, no more. Okay, so we just have to do like this. Table number 1. For table 1, table 1 shows the, shows the total frequency of sex. Okay, so this is for our table number 1. Okay, if we can see here, this will be our table number 1. For the female, we have 36. For the male, we have 14. And right after that, lagyan lang natin siya ng interpretation sa baba. Okay, so table 1 shows that there are 36 female and 14 male with a total of 50 respondents who participated in the national webinar. For Okay, in the national webinar on supporting distance learning. In the national webinar on supporting distance learning. Next. So we're done with table 1. Let us now move on to the other information in our Excel. We have here okay. If we can see here, nag-automatic na count yung female and male. On the other hand, hindi po natin siya pwedeng ma-automatic kay strongly agree, same as what we do in the female and male because it consists of a lot of level of agreement. So paano natin gagawin 'yan? We just have to make here the level of agreement or the note. So for example, we have here 4, 3, 2, 1. For number 4, we have this strongly agree, disagree, and last one is strongly disagree. Ayan po. So if we can see here, strongly agree 4, agree 3, disagree 2, strongly disagree for 1. So we just have to convert now these string data to numerical data. Sa papaanong paraan po? We just have to click on find sa upper right corner, click on find, and then click natin ang replace. What should we do after that? Find what? Let's find first the strongly agree. And replace with number 4. So lahat po ng strongly agree sa ating mga questions or sa ating table ay mapapalitan ng number 4. Ayan. Okay, so most of the answers ng ating mga respondents ay 4, kaya napakarami pong napalitan. Ayan. Next is, actually, pwede po nating isunod na ngayon ang agree. Let's just click on find, replace, agree, and click on number 3. So lahat ng agree, they will be changed into number 3. Ayan. Okay. There's somehow here na napalitan yung word na disagree and strongly disagree ng number 3 kasi hindi po natin siya minatch case. Anyway, pwede po din po natin gawin yon. So we just have to click on the Control Z para bumalik sa dati. And click find, click replace, and replace all options, match case, replace all. Ayan po. So, okay. So I think let's just repeat the process again. Nagkaka-error lang po. For example, may naka-caps lock, may naka-sentence case doon. Kaya, let us just try to do first si strongly disagree. Kailangan po nating maging observant, lalo na sa pagko-convert, kasi may mga cases na same spelling sila, pero magkaiba yung pinang-encode. May possibility na hindi niya ma-follow. It's because the instructions are not clear. Seems like that. So we just need to have this. Let's try this strongly disagree. Replace this strongly disagree into number 1. Okay. We couldn't find means because wala pong nagsagot ng strongly disagree sa mga questions. Next, let's try to have this disagree. Fine. Change with number 2. Okay. find, replace, ayan po. Parang gano'n. So, maliit po yung nilagay ko kanina kaya hindi and then minatch case ko wala siyang nahanap kasi ang disagree na nakalagay sa ating table ay naka caps lock yung letter D. But when I change it and then in-unclick ko po ang ating match case, ay napansin po natin na nagbago na. Okay? So, ayan po. Next, we're done with this one. So, the strongly disagree. Let's go with the agree first. Let's go first with, i-retype ko po ito, strongly disagree. For the agree, let's click on the replace. And then agree. So, dahil number 3 siya, number 3 po ang ilalagay nating kapalit niya. Then, let's have the replace. Ayan po. So, here we go for the last one, which is this. Yan. We just have to click on the find. Kahit wala po siya, let's just have to convert it para mas maging malinaw. Strongly disagree. And click on 1. Ayan. There we go. So, for strongly agree, we have 4. Agree for 3. Disagree for 2. And strongly disagree for 1. If you can see here, maayos na po ang ating data. So, we are done already with the task 2, which is to export string data or replace string data to numerical data for analysis. Now, we can have the task number 3. And what is task number 3? Ang gagawin lang po natin is it's to show the different mathematical functions that we can be done here. For the first question, ang first question na po ito is about the webinar is the workshop started on time. So let's see the level of agreement of the participants with this. Ilan po ba ang nagsagot ng 4, which is the strongly agree? Let's check on it. So 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's just insert a column here para may mas maging maayos. For number 4, ilan po ba? How can we know if ilan yung nagsagot? So let's use the formula count if. Equal sign, count if. The range, which is mag-start po tayo kay B2, B2 up to B51. B2 colon up to B51, comma, and then the criteria, we have, and then 4. Close. Ayan. So, sa lahat po ng mga respondents, there are 42 respondents who answered strongly agree on the first question that the workshop is started on time. Now, let's check on the agree. Ibig sabihin, may konting delay. So, let us have it in number 3. We can just copy the formula in here. If we can see, hindi na bago po ang ating criteria. So, we just click on the 4. Palitan natin ng 3 yan. Ayan. And then, pwede din po natin, ayan, 1. So, 1. If you can see here, 7, 1, and 0 kasi walang nagsabi na strongly disagree sila na maagang nag-start ang workshop. 1 for disagree, ibig sabihin na late. Number 3 is 7 na participants na nagsabi na yes, pwede, nag-start ng maaga ang workshop. So for question number 1, we just have to click on this one. And then transfer po natin sa ating table. sa word through table. Click on the design. Ayan. So, pwede na din po nating ilagay dito na strongly agree para mas malinaw siyang tignan. Okay. Strongly agree. Agree. Disagree. And strongly disagree. Okay, so in here, there are 42 respondents who strongly agree that the workshop started on time. 7 agree, 1 disagree, and 0 strongly disagree. So this is the table. This table number 2, this shows here. Table number 2 shows the, let's go back to the question here. Table number 2 shows that the workshop started on time. So ito po, workshop started on time. Level of agreement that the workshop started on time. Here we go. So nakita na po natin. This is the frequency. If we can see, medyo hindi pa enough ang information dito. So mag-insert tayo ng isang table sa taas. And nilagay natin dyan, level of agreement. Agreement. On the center, let's add here columns. For this time, we have to, this is the frequency. Ayan po. And kung mapapansin natin, kailangan nating tignan ang percentage. So, sa 100% na attendance, ilan ang nagsabi, ilan yung percentage ng 42? Let's go back on the Excel. Okay, for this one, we just have to get the percentage for this. Okay? How can we do that? We just have to get the total number of the participants. So, summation na po yan, equals sum, open parentheses, highlight po natin yan, and then click on that. Meron po tayong 50 na participants, okay? And then, let us now get the percentage of each level of agreement. So, equals this one over 50 equals 0.84. Okay? We have here the 0.84. Ayan po. Now, pwede din po nating i-copy yan. Oops, wait lang. Ayan. Try po nating i-copy. Here. Equals D over 50. 14 equals, oops, wait lang po. Ayan. Equal over 50. 0.2. And then last one, of course, equals, click on the cell, yung total na spawn, and then 50. Ayan, so 0. If we can see here, in decimal, it's this. But pwede na natin tong gawing percentage, which is this one. Ayan po. So, for a total of sum, 100%. So, we can copy this one. And let's now go on to the percentage. Okay. So, ilan na po sila? Tignan natin. Pwede na nating i-copy ito on the 84, 14, 2. So, meron po tayong 84% para sa nagsabing strongly agree, 14% para sa agree, 2% para sa disagree, at of course, 0, 0 for the strongly disagree. Okay, now let us move on to these row. Pwede po tayong mag-insert dito ng row para magkita natin ang total. So we have here the total. Meron po tayo ditong sum. Of course, we just have to copy these 50 and 100%. 50 and then 100 and 100%. Ayan po. So if we can see here, meron tayong 50 na participants na nagsagot, and which is 100%. So this is the question for number 1. Level of agreement that the workshop is started on time. And we have to do this one on the questions, on the following questions pa na ginamit natin sa ating webinar. So that if we will interpret this one, table 2 shows that that majority, we have to use the word majority kasi nalampasan po niya ang 50% ni strongly agree, which is 84%. So we can use the word majority. Table 2 shows that majority of the participants strongly agree that the workshop started on time. 7, table 2 shows that the majority of the participants. Okay, let's just have to write here 80 or 84%. So while 14% or 7 participants agree 1 participant or 2%, 2% or only one participant disagree for the time that the workshop started. Hence, or let's say, there is no participant who strongly disagree with the indicator that the workshop started on time. Okay, so if we can see here, this will be the first indicator in our level of agreement. Next, let's move on to the second question. The topic was relevant to our work. To our work. So we just have to, maybe in order for us to have faster way of computing it in the Excel, we can copy this one here for us to make it more, make it easier. Okay? Ayan po. So, click on this one. Ayan. Clear contents. Okay, so meron na din po tayo ditong table, kumbaga, para mas mabilis. So, for the question number 2, workshop ended on time. Workshop ended on time, I should say. So, that's the question number 2. Ilan ang nag-agree na natapos ng nasa oras, agree, disagree, and strongly disagree. So, let us check again the frequency of that. Equals count if, then range D2 up to D51. D2 up to D51. D2 up to D51. And then the range will be 4. Then, ayan. So there are 41 respondents or participants in the webinar who strongly agree that the workshop ended on time. Now, let's just have to copy that one. And then, change lang natin ang criteria. Ito, 3. So, may 8 sa agree. 2. May isa sa disagree. Okay. Change mo na. Okay. It seems like, okay. Tingnan po nating mabuti. Mukhang nagkaroon dito ng problem. At least na-check natin ngayon. Para hindi na po siya mag-move, let's just have the dollar sign here sa ating range. Para kapag kinapi po natin, ang formula ay pwede. Yan. Okay, so wait lang po. Ayan. I hope, ayan. From B2 to B51, 4. Let's try to copy that formula here. Gawin natin tong 3. 4, and then this one. Tingnan po natin kung mag-change ang result. 2, and then 1. Ayan. So, we have here, and then we just have to click on equal sign. 50. Ay, ito. Summation muna po tayo. So, equal sum. Wait lang po. Ayan. 40 itong nakalagay dito, which is wrong. Dapat maging 50 yan kasi 50 po yung participants natin based on the table. So, just click on the sum. And then, i-highlight lang po natin yung kailangan nating i-add. So, 50. Ayan po. So, 100% bumalik siya sa dati. Yun lang ang kailangan natin gawin, maging very careful and observant sa mga details kasi kahit maliliit na details, importante po iyon. So tulad nito, mag-start po siya kay D2 up to D51 as our range, tas for ang criteria natin. Lagyan na lang natin ng dollar sign para pag kinapi natin, it will not be disarranged, kumbaga. Ayan po. And then we can copy the formula. So, bakit pare-paras ng 41 yan? It's because the criteria is 4 pa. So, change lang natin siya into the criteria na gusto nating mga bilang ng ating Excel. 1. Okay, so we now have 41 plus 8 plus 1, that's 50. So, equals sum. Let's try to copy the formula of this. Para hindi na tayo maglagay. Okay. Okay, wait. Kung hindi kaya, pwede po natin, ayan. C62. Okay, okay na po. Yan. So, 50. Now, let us move on to this one. Ayan, equals this one over 50 equals 8 over 50 equals 1 over 50 equals 0 over 50. Okay. And then, dahil nakadecimal yan, click on the percentage. And we have now this one. So, the total, a total of equals sum. Ayan. So, we have here 100%. Okay po? So, that is the level of agreement for the question number 2. And the question number 2 is, the workshop ended on time. So, punta na po tayo doon sa word. Copy lang po natin ito para sa ating table number 3. Okay, let's just change the design of this table. Ayan. Ang percentage po is dito. Ayan. Okay, so we have here the level of agreement. Strongly agree, agree, disagree, strongly disagree. A total of 50 for the frequency and 100% for the percentage. So, ang ating table here, for the table 3. Table 3, it's the level of agreement that the workshop ended on time. Okay, so if we can see here, the table above shows that still majority, that 82, that majority 82% of the participants strongly agree that the workshop ended on time. There are 16%. There are 16% or 7, oh wait, 8, sorry. 8 participants. The table shows that majority, 82% of the participants strongly agree that the workshop ended on time. There are 16 or 8 participants who only agree on the indicator or on the indicator 2, which is this one. 1, there is one who disagree that the workshop ended on time. With a possible reasons such as, bakit po kaya hindi natapos ng maaga? With the possible reasons such as questions raised in the Q&A portion, or let's say in the, yeah, in the Q&A portion, or let's say such as questions raised to the speakers are too many. Or the participants, the participants are still having their lunch. And it could be the speaker, the speaker, the speaker is not yet, or the speaker doesn't started the presentation earlier or ahead of time. Here we go. There is no, there is no, there is no participant who strongly disagree that the workshop started or ended on time. Okay po. So if we can see here, and let's just justify it. So we can see here that the table 1, table 2, table 3. Ayan. This one better if we can write only total frequency of sex. The table 2. Ayan po. Mas maayos po siyang tignan. Okay? Now let us go back to our Excel. Since, ayan, let's go back to our Excel. We have here, copy lang po natin yan. And we just have to clear this one. Ayan. So for the question number 3, we have here, topic was relevant to our work, which is the TPAC. Is it relevant to the teaching profession since the participants are all teachers and school managers? So tingnan po natin. Let's see kung ilan ang strongly agrees para sa indicator na yan. Equals count F. Range is D2 to D51. D2 to D51. And the criteria is 41. So there are 41 who strongly agree. So lagyan na lang natin ng dollar sign dito para easier to copy ang formula niya na hindi na di-disarrange. Ayan po. So 41. Ayan, dito to D51. Change the criteria into 3. Change the criteria into 2 for disagree. And change the criteria into 1 for strongly disagree. Yan po. So the total, of course, summation, sum, and this one. 50. So meron po tayong 50 na participants. Next, for the percentage naman, we just have to click on this underscore. Yan, over 50. So 82%. Let's try kung, okay, hindi pa. Try po natin. No, it can't. So equals 8 over 50. Yan. equal sign. Huwag po natin kakalimutan si equal sign para magamit po natin ang formula. Over 50, 2%, equal sign, 0 over 50. Ayan, so 0% po. So we now have the we have to compute now the total percentage for this indicator, equal sum. And this one, 100%. So we just have to copy this for the question number 3. Lagi lang po natin sa Word for the table number 4. Yan. Design. Ayusin lang po natin yung design niya. Excuse me. Okay. Let's just delete the column which are not needed. The level of agreement, the frequency. Baba na lang po natin. Ayan. So level of agreement, strongly agree, meron po tayong 41. 8 for agree, disagree for 1, strongly disagree for 0, and total of 50. So sa ating level 4, ang ating indicator dito ay objectives of this session were achieved. So level of agreement, this one shows the okay. Mas maigay kapag lalagyan po natin ng frequency count, frequency count, and percentage, and percentage, and percentage for the level of agreement that the workshop started on time. Ayan. Para mas maging precise po yung ating table name. Frequency count and percentage for the on time, and frequency count and percentage for the topic was relevant, for the relevance of the topic to the word. Frequency count and percentage for the relevance of the topic to the current work. There we go. Ayan. Frequency count and percentage for the relevance of the topic